This video is sponsored by Queef Jerky. More on that later. You guys know what it is. Welcome back to the drama. Welcome back to He Said Us. I am your host. And today, I want to talk about how hard it's been for me. Lately, it's been hard to be an influencer, you know? There's not a lot of drama. My mental health isn't so great. Especially when you get out of the summer and the video views aren't doing so good. It's hard to have that same motivation to keep pushing forward. I think you all would agree that being an influencer is one of the hardest jobs out there.
Try being an influencer for a day.
And I guess that's what today's video is kind of about, because there are a few clips that have been circulating. There are a few clips that have been circulating around the internet about the job of being an influencer. These days, a lot of people make money purely off of influencing online, showing people products and things that they are selling. They are advertisers. I'm an advertiser. My video is sponsored today by one of the biggest bands in the world. And not only that, but it seems that influencers are also coming up with their own opinions about regular everyday people, which is why I came to you with the story today. There are a few TikToks I'm going to show you. Let's just get into it.
Right when I hit 100 million, I think I was at the lowest mental state possible, and I looked so happy online.
It's true.
And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I physically cannot do this. Like, it got really dark to where I was like, I don't even want to be here anymore.
Okay, so what you just watched was a video of Charli D'Amelio talking about how tough it has been for her to be an influencer in the past. And obviously I have to add on to this statement that mental health is real. It doesn't matter what occupation you're in. It can get really tough for anybody out there, but it will always be more tough for Charli D'Amelio. I'm just kidding. Of course, we can go into this and say everyone struggles with mental health. It's always an issue. We shouldn't discriminate off of who can speak on their own mental health and how their job affects it. But may I present an argument that sometimes there is a place, there is a time for you to bring up statements kind of like what Charli just did now, especially with what is going on just recently in the news. You would expect people to be a little more conscious of the way that they complain and talk about their personal lives online. And I think that we can all agree that there's a time and a place to bring it up, especially if you are in a privileged position, kind of like Charli. Look, new tattoo. I got like some babies in my arm. Of course, I agree that Charli's been through a lot. I think she was thrown into a very unique position, and it cannot be easy to be an influencer in the kind of way that she is when her family is tied up into it, and it happened from before she was even an adult. But people who are watching these podcasts, people who are consuming her content, should not be under the impression that Charli D'Amelio is dealing with bigger everyday struggles than you. I think the reason why a clip like this leaves a bad taste in people's mouths is because this is coming from someone who has millions and millions of dollars that will never have to worry about where they're going to get their next meal, are never going to have to worry about whether or not they're going to be able to be with their family, whether or not they're healthy and safe. You can talk about these mental health problems as a separate aside, but you should not attach it to a statement like, when I had 100 million followers, I was at the lowest point of my life. It just isn't a great look. And we have some other examples that I want to get to today. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments down below. The next one I want to look at is another podcast clip. These influencers cannot stop going on podcasts and talking about their experiences as if other people do not have them. Personally, I can agree with the sentiment that there are parts of an influencer job that are hard. Of course, I struggle with them all the time. Do I think that makes it harder than someone else's job or most other jobs? Not at all. I think I have a job that is much easier than other jobs. That doesn't mean that I don't hit very low points while doing this job. It just means that I am going to either present those thoughts in a way that can be relatable and doesn't come off as overprivileged or come off as me thinking that I deal with more mental health problems than any other person. What comes with the job of influencing? You got to do brand deals. You got to put out original content, maybe. You've got to go do like marketing shit, I guess. Podcasts? I don't know. Today, we look at a lot of influencers who either make short form content on a site where you literally just put your phone up and you do a little dance or they make original content online and they post, once a week, once a month, whatever it may be. I hate doing brand deals, except for the one that we have today. I hate doing brand deals just as much as the next guy. It's annoying to have to write out a script for a brand, have to repeat it, have to get approval for it, yada, yada, yada. But in the grand scheme of things, putting the time into doing a brand deal that will make me an amount of money that I will live off of, it is only taking me like not even an hour completely of my time, is just not comparable to what other people have to deal with, to what other people in America have to endure when they are a part of the working class. If you are an influencer, you can have horrible mental health, you can be struggling really hard, but at the same time, you have to admit that you will never be able to relate to people that are a part of the working class currently. And this will come up later in the video, but there are people that think just because they, in their past lives, struggled and had to work hard to get where they were, and they went through a lot of hardships, that means that they're allowed to speak on how the working class feels in the current day. And that is just not true. Let's watch the next clip.
Think like social media, oh, it's so easy, it's so this, it's so that.
It's so this, it's so that. People are always saying that about being an influencer. I do want to take one step back to the Charlie video and ask, what is it that she said she was not doing this anymore? Like, what is she talking about? When I say I'm not doing this anymore, what is this? Is it the dances? Is it doing the Kids' Choice Awards? Is it being like a Vogue partner? Is it having a reality TV show with your family that you still choose to do every day? Even though every episode you talk about how much it hurts your mental health, you still have the option to do this. You are not in a position where no matter how hard you try, you're not allowed to do one of these things. You literally just have to do nothing. And I understand the feeling. I get really stressed out over my job. I get really stressed out over a lot of stuff happening in my life, but I'm never going to come online and tell you guys that my life is just as hard or harder or compare it at all to the lives of anyone else. And Charlie's not doing that here, but I think in her language, it does come off very tone deaf. Next video.
But I was staying up. I had so to be an art major, you have to have 6-hour classes a day. So it'd be 6 to 8 hours usually. So I'd go at 7. I would get home at 7:30 at night, from class. And I would go all day just writing ideas. And then I would go home, film them all, edit them until 4 in the morning.
Yeah, so that is another clip of an influencer talking about something that I don't know if she knows what she's complaining about. I think what you're complaining about is how much time it takes you to be an art major, but to even have the time or even have the energy to be able to put out that amount of content, you can't say people don't realize how hard of a job it is.
Think social media, oh, it's so easy, it's so this, it's so that.
That is the part of the video that makes it a problem, saying that, oh, people always say, doing social media is so easy, it's so this, it's so that. As someone who does social media full time and puts a lot of time into it, I can confidently say it is not nearly as hard as any other 9 to 5, any other job where you even have to commute to go somewhere. If you are even doing a job from your house, and if you are even the owner of your own business, if you are working for yourself, you have privilege in doing so and getting paid, right? The problem is you cannot try to compare that to other people's lives and try to act like you're oppressed, because the moment you have the privilege to be an influencer, you should not be trying to compare that amount of work to anything else, because you have full control over whether or not you do the job and whether or not you want to pivot and do something else. You can have horrible mental health. You can be struggling harder than anybody doing a 9 to 5. That doesn't mean that your job is the thing causing that. I am on the hard stance that yes, having social media as your job can have a lot of negative effect in your life. It can ruin relationships. It can isolate you. But I can still choose whether or not I want to leave and go get another job this whole time. And I complain a lot. I stress a lot about my job. I'm not going to go on a freaking podcast and say, people don't really get how hard it really is. There are so many factors that are a part of that experience and a part of how you are going to feel emotionally. And the influencer part of that job is a weird one because we've never really had a job like this in past generations of people. And so it's a little bit jarring. It's hard for people to get adjusted to. But also in saying that, it makes people like this feel like they are experiencing something that other people are not able to experience. And that is like kind of gross when you're in this position. You are literally speaking on a podcast right now, and it's part of your job. Don't say it's hard work. This is a video from another creator you guys may recognize. They're responding to a comment that says, "Poor you, report to a job 9 to 5, LOL." I'll show you guys this video. It's very interesting. But first, let's talk about our sponsor for the video, Queef Jerky, a famous band that just put out their new single called Liver, and it's on all streaming platforms now. Their new music video just came out. Let's watch a clip from it. Shirt. I went from Virgil Burton, Lisa, right out the baby. Don't tell Brian about the KG. Somebody stole my car radio, and now I just put that time in grinding. Queef bars all the time. Wow. That was a really good clip. Queef Jerky is an amazing band, and you can check out their music on YouTube or Spotify or wherever else you can listen and consume music. They are on Instagram at Queef Jerky 2022. Personally, I heard that this is their best song yet. A lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, this is their best song yet. But seriously, it would mean a lot to me if you go watch the video. Please, come on. There's a lot of new music coming out. A lot of good stuff is going to happen. Thank you to Queef Jerky for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the drama and watch this video.
Overseas addressing. You know, I'm feeling like a fucking asshole today. So I'm going to clap back at people because I'm tired. I'm so tired. Every single day, I get up at 6 a.m. I spend about 5 to 6 hours filming video content that ranges from 3 to 4 videos, and I spend a few hours editing that video content. Then I have to work on my other social media profiles, whatever it may be, Instagram, whatever. It's fucking marketing. Then I'm in meetings from 12 to 5. I literally just finished working. It's 5:19. Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. Because the
No. Come on. I have so much I have to say about this. Let me let the video finish.
people who say it's easy are so far out of their minds. Try it for a day. It is not for everybody. In fact, it's for a very small handful of people who can actually do this job. Because it's absolutely fucking insane. You do not want to have this job. I'm just saying.
Part of her job currently right now is talking about this while pouring dressing on her salad. And I don't know what kind of insane influencer she is. Waking up at 6 a.m. and thinking of video ideas for like 6 hours. What are you doing during that time? The efficiency needs a little bit of tuning up, I think. And the tough part about this conversation is there is a big spectrum of what can be considered an influencer, from being someone who makes a TikTok once a month and lives off a couple brand deals to a person who makes content every day, is always recording shit, is always editing their own shit, whatever. Just because there is that spectrum does not mean that you are allowed to make these kind of comments when you have the freedom to not have that job anymore. I don't know where you spend all that time. How do you even spend all that time editing and putting together videos? And it's like 4 or 5 videos a day. Why are you making that many videos a day? Try being an influencer. Try being an influencer once in your life. I'll go to your 9 to 5 and you try to be an influencer and you tell me how you do. Because you couldn't do this job for one goddamn day.
Try being an influencer for a day.
No. I am going to give the firm stance as an influencer that yes, a lot of people want this job and a lot of people would be very, very happy to have it. There are downsides to it. That's just how it works. That's how a job is. But every other job has downsides that are arguably just as or even worse, and they don't get paid even enough to live. But you're at home influencing on TikTok every day, and you don't even have to leave the front door. But when we flip the script, it also seems like there are some influencers who think that people who have a 9 to 5 don't have the right to be complaining, I guess. It's a video that made me and a lot of other people kind of angry because of just how dumb these people are. But this is a clip of a podcast that Barstool runs. It's this 50-year-old man. It's like two teenagers, and they talk about online shit. And this is them reacting to a video of a girl who's overwhelmed with her 9-to-5 job.
Woman upset over 9-to-5 job. A woman on TikTok has been viral for crying about her 9-to-5 job or 2-hour commute because she has no time to do anything after work. Many people have met her TikTok with criticism, call her a spoiled brat. Yeah, welcome to the world.
This is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college. I get on the train at 7:30 and I don't get home till like 6:15 earliest. I'm so upset.
David Portnoy is most known for reviewing goddamn pizzas. He doesn't have the right to be scoffing. I'm sure when he was younger that he had to work at a 9-to-5. I'm sure he has some fantastic story to tell us about his hardships, about going through all of the tough things he had to go through before he became the president of Barstool. I will let this video finish because it's pretty infuriating, because the other two people on this podcast, I can't even say the same thing about. They have not had to do 9-to-5s in their past, especially not traditional ones where they actually have to commute and go to a job and come home and manage their time like a normal person. Goddamn, Josh Richards got this podcast job when he was like 14 years old. Him and Dave Portnoy, best friends. A little weird, but listen to how these two young influencers react to someone who is overwhelmed with their 9-to-5. This is something that even when I was a kid was something I worried about all the time, about being in the real world and having to have a 9-to-5, and the worry about how overwhelmed and out of control your life would feel having to show up to a job where you are not the boss of your work. I am in a privileged position where I cannot say that I've had to go through that same experience. And so watching it here, I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty bad. But then I see these goddamn douchebags up here, over here, and they think it's like funny, I guess. It's like, oh, what you don't know what happens here at Barstool, though. You'd be really crying if you saw the kind of job you did at Barstool.
The 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy. I don't have time for anything, and I'm like so stressed out. And I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm all emotional.
Yeah, that's life, man. That's.
I mean, yeah, it sucks.
Sorry, I think I'm allergic to douchebags, including the girl.
But
I don't mean to laugh.
It's like, Josh, what can you laugh about? You were like 12 when Dave found you on the front doorstep of Barstool and gave you a podcast deal because you had like abs. The ladies liked your abs, probably. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, no shit.
that's just life. Go do, I don't know, go try to make a better job for yourself if you want to. We did it.
Yeah.
How dumb can you sound? Like, seriously, how much of an idiot can you sound when you are someone who's like, I don't know, fucking 22 or something, and you're complaining on the Barstool podcast that this guy gave you a job at because you got viral off of some goddamn TikTok? These people are gross. And they think that because a 9-to-5 is like the traditional way that we do work here in America, that means that because it's the status quo, we shouldn't be allowed to question that. We shouldn't be allowed to turn against that and wonder, hey, why is this the way that our work days are structured? Is this the best way we can do it? Maybe I'm not someone who is capable of doing that kind of work. And that's something that kids are constantly ridiculed for, because you just got to do it. When I was younger, that's what my parents would say. You just got to buckle up and you got to do work. Everyone else is doing it. Get with the program. This country does not allow for people to question that structure. It doesn't allow for the kind of people who have better capabilities in places where they can be more useful, yet they are confined to a 9-to-5 job. I think it's just gross. And I think it's annoying, and I think all three of these people seem like annoying people to be around. They all seem like people that I would literally pay them to not have to have a conversation with them.
9-to-5 grind. I did it. It's brutal.
Oh, I did it. There it is. You see? Look at the way that people like this. Oh, little Josh, give us a little side eye. Look at him.
And I'm also getting my period.
The smugness that these people have to be able to talk about people like this, not her, the other girl. And to be able to talk about it in such a condescending way, as if you even know what it takes to create a life and a career out of nothing when you're not given those same privileges. Even me talking about it, I can't overstate how hard it must be and how shitty it must be for the rich or ultra rich like these people to be laughing and scoffing. That's the way it is. Get with the program, lady. When you don't know her job, you don't know how the commute is, you don't know her living conditions, you don't know anything about that. It's not the same for everybody. No one has the same mental health. No one has the same job. No one has the same conditions. Stop treating other people like complaining about work is a bad thing. Asking questions about the structure and the way we do things in this country is something that should be normalized. It's something that should be listened to, and it is something that we need to work on as a country so the actual people in this country can have better and happier conditions for living. But no, capitalist, weirdo influencers like this will sit there and just kind of scoff and continue to do their influencing job. I'm sure after this video, Josh Richards ripped his shirt off, showed his abs off, and then they threw $1 million at him. Okay, I want to show you the response of what the girl who originally posted this TikTok said.
I just got sent the BFF's podcast about me, about Brianna Chicken Fry, like reacting to my 9 to 5 video, and basically she just said,
if the name you go by, the name you're known for is Brianna Chicken Fry, you cannot laugh at someone who has a normal 9 to 5 job about them complaining about that job. You literally go by Brianna Chicken Fry online. You do not have a real job. You do not. And don't take this as me saying that influencers need to get a real job or go. I think if you're making a shit ton of money, that's good for you. Keep making a shit ton of money. Do whatever you want. Don't just talk down to other people, though, who do have to do that and who are not happy about it.
is to sit there and say that's life when nobody can afford doctor's appointments. People literally work from the moment the sun rises till the minute the sun sets. It's with the platform you have is so disappointing because that shouldn't be life. Even Trisha Paytas sat there and said this should not be life in America or anywhere. To sit in your little influencer tower and be able to experience more in a year paid for than the average American working will in their entire lives, to just sit there and laugh and be like, haha, go create a better job for yourself, she said to me. If I don't like my hours, go create another job. Do you know how much it costs to start a business? Do you have any idea? No.
Also, with how easy you're making it sound, wouldn't everyone be self-employed and there would be nobody homeless in the world if it was that fucking easy?
But no, go create a better job for yourself is what they're going to tell you. We are unfortunately in this reality where influencers feel like they created their job and they built their life because they are a hard worker or they're special or they're different from every other person. And sure, depending on what job you have, yes, maybe you are the only person who would be able to do that job. I often tell people that me and Dev are the only people who could ever make queef jerky. That's true. And it's because we're working harder than anyone else out there. That was a joke, but what I'm trying to say is you can be unique, you can have talents, you can be the only person in the world who can make that specific job for yourself, but so can so many other working class people in America, and they did not have the same luck, the same privileges, they didn't have the same series of events happen to them that allowed them to be in this position. Is that making any sense? Am I influencing you guys enough to have some new thoughts up there? To think about things in a new way? It is hard to be an influencer, but it is even harder to do literally anything else. Please don't make me do anything else. I have this job and I think and like to think that I work hard at what I do. But this past week, I was depressed. I didn't want to make videos. So guess what? I didn't, because I have the privilege to be able to do that. I have the privilege to choose whether or not I could take off a year from work if I wanted to. I cannot sit here and say that my job is hard or as hard as any other person. I can't sit here and say that other people have the same privileges I do, because I have the privilege to be able to do that. And that's my TED Talk. If you liked this video, I don't know what to tell you. If you liked this video, you're a freak. As you heard before, it's been a slow few weeks. It's been hard to find drama that really inspires me in the same way. I know we're hitting kind of a weird drama lull after the renaissance that happened this summer. It's just as much of a bummer to you guys as it is to me. Hopefully Monday will bring some more drama, and I want to come back with some brand new content that I'm excited about. I'm working on a Nick is Not Green main channel video that's going to come out next week, I think. Subscribe. Okay, that's it. Thank you to Queef Jerky for sponsoring this video. Check out our new song called Liver. It's on the screen right now. You should watch the music video or listen to the song or whatever. At least just save it to Spotify right now and listen to it later. Whatever. That's all I gotta say. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good weekend. Stay safe and be good. Bye.
Try being an influencer for a day.